Okay, picked up a few things at the flea market today. The first is this little red Channel Master AM radio from about 59 or 60. Even came in this little case here. The speaker grill has a little dent in it, and the dial lens has got a little scratch in it, but it's in overall pretty good shape. Should clean up okay. Open it up and see if it has any leaky batteries in it. It looks like we have some later model Energizer batteries in here, so this radio was used or tested in recent years anyway. And yes, they had corroded a little bit. In fact, when I unplugged the battery holder, one of the snaps off of the battery connector came off with it. I think this battery holder is a replacement because it's marked as being made in Hong Kong. The rest of the radio is Japanese, and I don't believe they were making Hong Kong. I don't think they were using parts from Hong Kong as early as the late 50s, early 60s. In fact, I think Radio Shack still sells these snap-in holders. I believe these radios were built by Sanyo, and I believe they're actually pretty good performers. The main trouble they give are these electrolytic capacitors usually go bad. We'll deal with that on another day. Now let's see what's next in line. Next we have a decent looking Arvin portable transistor radio from the mid-60s, I would guess. This is an AM set. And we have a power switch, a voice and music tone control, and a spring-loaded switch for the dial light. This has CD markings on the dial, so this may be a little older than the mid-60s. Now let's see what it looks like inside. Okay, doesn't look too bad inside. I see this uses a 3-gang tuning capacitor, which means it has an RF amplifier stage, which means this ought to be a decent radio whenever it's restored. Okay, this is a model 63R38, I believe, and looks like a 1963 date code on the tuning cap, so we'll say this is from 63. But yeah, it's not in too terrible bad shape. It's highly presentable. Okay, let's see what's next in line. Next we have this old electric toaster from who knows how long ago. I'm really not a toaster expert, but this is probably from the 30s, if not older. Still has the original power cord. This is one that you flip the door down and put your slice of bread in and close it, and of course, nothing automatic about these. You have to be careful or you'll burn your bread up. There's a door on each side, so this is a 2-slice model. And it has on the tag, vintage toaster works well. They had $25 on this, but this was half price day, so I got it for $12.50, which I don't think was too bad. Now let's put it this way, every one I've seen elsewhere was higher than that, so I figured I'd go ahead and get it. Okay, let's plug this up and see what happens. See if it crashes or burns. Well, it works. Of course, I want to clean it up and do any kind of preventative maintenance that needs to be done, but before I put this into service. But once again, we have an appliance that's 70, 80 plus years old and still works, and these new Chinese toasters are doing good to last a year or two. I know my parents had an old Sunbeam toaster from the late 1940s, an automatic toaster, and I think my sister still has that one and it still works. And we also had a Sunbeam waffle iron from the same era that worked up until the mid-90s, and I think all that was wrong with it when it died was the power cord, but Dad was tired of looking at it and he threw it away. Now I would have fixed it and just hung on to it. I'm really not a collector of these, vintage type appliances other than radios and record players and old fans, but I'm getting to the point when I see these things, various old appliances, I try to pick them up and so I can at least have one or two examples in my collection. Because let's face it, they're not making this stuff anymore, and it's only going to get harder and harder to find, so I might as well get it while I still can. And last, we picked up a few record albums. Steve Forbett, Little Stevie Orbit, from around, I think, 1981. I mainly picked this one up because he's from Meridian, Mississippi. The Platters Sing Latino on a black label, Mercury label. This is a mono copy. The Letterman She Cried on a Capitol Stereo rainbow label, probably from the mid-60s. 16 Big Hits, a Motown Various Artists compilation from '69. Not too familiar with this one. Shelley Berman, a personal appearance on the Verve label. I think this is a comedy record, but I'm not sure. And the inner sleeve of this Platters recording advertises a couple of Mercury branded portable phonographs. This one's Transistor. I'm sure this one's Tube. I think they were both made by Philips. I actually have a slightly newer version of this one that I need to restore. Okay, there you go, my latest flea market finds. Thanks for watching, and more to come later.